Hola amigos and welcome to a new lesson. In today's class, we're gonna learn how to use properly the pronoun it in Spanish, which by the way has two possibilities. It can be lo or la. If you saw my previous videos where I taught him and her, you know that him is lo and her is la. So when it comes to it, when it is receiving the action, this can be translated by two words, lo or la. And today we're going to find out how to use it. So let's jump right into it. First, positive statements. We start with something simple. I clean it on Sundays. So as you can see there above the sentence, we have la casa because we're gonna refer to la casa. That it is gonna refer to la casa. And according to that is that we are gonna translate it in Spanish. So for instance, okay, let's start completing the sentence. I, is yo, that's right. And now what comes next? The verb to clean? No, not so fast. Yeah, I'm sure you know it now. Comes first, it. It. So should I say lo or la? Well, it is gonna take the gender according to the thing it is referring to. In this case, I'm meaning I clean the house on Sundays. And since house or casa is feminine, then that means that I have to use la for it. So that would be yo la, the verb to clean is limpiar, limpiar, and the right conjugation would be limpio. That's right. Yo la limpio. Yo la limpio on Sundays. And here I have something important to say. Whenever you're going to mention days of the week in which you do something, we don't use en. Most of the time, on is translated by en in Spanish, but when on is followed by days of the week, we use articles. In this case, all days of the week are masculine. And since Sundays is in plural, of course, we're going to use the same in Spanish. Sundays in plural. Do you know or do you remember how to say Sunday? Mm, es domingo. Domingo. And domingo, the plural form is domingos. So the right article to use would be los. Yo la limpio los domingos. And it's worth to mention that days of the week in Spanish are written all in lowercase. We don't use capital letters here. So, yo la limpio los domingos. If you were to say this Sunday, you can say yo la limpio el domingo on Sunday. Okay, that was perfect. Now, okay, it's your turn to read this sentence out loud. Cool. Next up, we have we usually bite there. We usually bite there, and it is referring to el pan. And el pan, as you can see, is masculine, so you know what to do, right? Okay, let's start. We is nosotros, that's right. Usually is normalmente. You said usualmente, that's right too, but it's more common in Spanish to use normalmente when we mean that we do something periodically. So, nosotros normalmente to buy in Spanish is comprar. So, how do we conjugate comprar with nosotros? Did I hear compramos? Perfect. That's right. Nosotros, no, not so fast. Remember, first, it, right? The object receiving the action. And in this case, we use lo because of bread, because el pan is masculine. That's right. So, nosotros normalmente lo, and now the verb, compramos. Nosotros normalmente lo compramos ahí, ahí, there. Not here, but there. Nosotros normalmente lo compramos aquí. Okay, now it's your turn to say it out loud. Very good. Very good. Next sentence. He takes it at night. And in this case, we have la medicina, which is medicine, and it's a feminine word. So pretty easy, right? He, él, what comes next? Take, no. What comes next is it. That's right. And since it is replacing or referring to medicine or la medicina, we use la. That's right. To take is tomar in Spanish, so that would be él la toma. The conjugation for él, the right conjugation for él. So él la toma at night. At is en. Whenever you say a part of the day, like in the morning, in the afternoon, or at night, in Spanish, we always use en. En, or in some countries, and we use por. So that might be different according to the country where you are living in or you're planning to go to. So, en or por. Él la toma en. And like English, when you say in the morning, in the afternoon, we keep using that article, the. In this case, night is noche, so we would say en la noche, okay? We need to say la, like en la mañana, en la tarde, and en la noche. Él la toma en la noche. That's right. Okay, it's your turn to say this sentence out loud. Very well. Next sentence. They sell it cheap here. Did you know that? Yeah, they sell it cheap here. Oh, good to know. Okay, in this case, it is referring to el vino, masculine. So we start with ellos, and it would be, yes, you're right, lo. To sell is vender in Spanish. Vender with V. So vender conjugated for ellos is ellos lo venden. That's right. Ellos lo venden. And cheap is do you know the word? Yeah. Yeah, here. Barato. If so, that's right. Barato. Ellos lo venden barato. And here, the opposite of there. Here is aquí. Ellos lo venden barato aquí. Did you know that? They sell wine cheap here. They sell it very cheap here. Ellos lo venden barato aquí. Okay, now it's your turn to read this sentence. Muy bien. Excelente. Excelente. Moving on to the next one. Okay, here's now this sentence is very important to learn and understand. Okay, the sentence is sure. I understand it. In this case, unlike the others we've seen so far, it is not referring to a thing. It's referring to a situation, as something that has no gender. Why? Because it's not a thing we are talking about. It's just something that is not determined. In this case, I can say that it is referring to what is going on. No, that's a situation. Sure, I understand what is going on. So, but rather than say, I understand what is going on, I'm gonna say, sure, I understand it. And when it is referring to a situation or a sentence or idea, of course, we are gonna use always lo, because lo is also used when we want to refer to something that has no gender. So in this case, I'm gonna say sure. Okay, sure is seguro, seguro, I, yo, it, remember, refers to anything that is not a thing, it's always lo. Yo, lo, understand? You know it? Yeah, that's right. Yo lo entiendo. Yeah, no need to explain anything. I understand it. So that's okay. Seguro. Yo lo entiendo. Correcto, correcto. Okay, come on, say it. Very good. One more example. Miguel recommends drinking more water heavily. Miguel recommends something, an idea, a suggestion. So, but this idea, we are replacing it with it. Miguel recommends it heavily. So, it's clear that here it, what do we use for it in this case? Lo or la? That's right, lo, lo. Okay, so the sentence would be Miguel recommend, no, Miguel, lo, and to recommend in Spanish is recomendar, recomendar, and it's an irregular verb. So this is Miguel lo recomienda, lo recomienda, and heavily here is mucho. As simple as that. Miguel lo recomienda mucho. Okay, now it's your turn to say this sentence out loud. Perfecto, perfecto. And now we move on to the negative statements. What do we have here? Let's see. He doesn't drive it often. He doesn't drive it often. And it is referring to the car or his car. El carro. Okay, so that would be el, no, very good. El carro masculino, so lo, el no lo. And drive has two, we have two words for drive. They mean exactly the same. And those are manejar and conducir. Manejar and conducir. So in this case, I've picked manejar because it's more common. So manejar. And the subject here is él. So él maneja. Él no lo maneja. And often, I'm sure you know this word, right? In Spanish is translated by two words, and that is a menudo. Él no lo maneja a menudo. Okay, come on. Say this sentence. Muy bien, muy bien. Él no lo maneja. Remember that J is always pronounced as él no lo maneja. That's right. Okay, next sentence. She never washes it. She never washes it. So in this case, it is referring to a cup, a cup of coffee, una taza de café. So she is ella, never, you know, never? Yeah, sure, I'm sure you know. Nunca. Ella nunca la taza, feminine. That means we use la, right? Ella nunca la, the verb to wash is lavar, lavar. So ella would be ella nunca la lava. Ella nunca la lava. I don't know why. Okay, come on, say this sentence out loud. Muy bien. Muy bien. Very good. And the next sentence we have for negative statements is here. I don't need it now. So you can do whatever you want, but I don't need it now. And that it is referring to my phone, el celular, masculino. So I is yo. What comes next? No. And now, next, it, right? And it is referring to el celular, so masculine, lo. Yo no lo necesito. That's right. I'm sure you did it right. It's a very basic verb. Yo no lo necesito now, and you know that, right? Ahora. Perfect. Yo no lo necesito ahora. Okay? Go ahead and say this out loud. Nice. Very good. And now we're moving on to questions. How do we use it in questions? Well, the same way we use it in positive and negative statements. So the first question we got here is, do you get it? Like, do you get what I'm saying? Okay, we start with a question mark, then followed by the subject, which is to, to, and it is referring to an idea, situation, context, dialogue, etc. And automatically that means that we need lo. That's right. You lo. And here, well, get is actually a very versatile verb and it has different meanings. In this case, I'm pretty sure that you know that here get means understand, right? Do you understand it? So in Spanish, we make things simple and we just use the verb understand in Spanish. So that would be entender. Do you get it? ¿Tú lo entiendes? That's right. We don't have a different verb for get in this situation. We just use entender. Hey, do you get it? Do you get what I'm saying? Hey, ¿tú lo entiendes? Perfect. Okay, now read this question and don't forget to make the intonation at the end of it. Go ahead. Very good. Next one. Does she play it? I mean, she used to play the piano in the past, but now does she play it or do you know if she still plays it? Okay, let's see. Opening question mark. She is ella, and it means or it's referring to el piano, so that means lo, ella lo. And to play here is, in case you know, well, play has different meanings. Usually is translated by jugar, but that's when we refer to a sport. I play soccer, basketball, that would be jugar. But when we are talking about musical instruments, then the verb changes. And the right one is tocar, tocar. So, ella lo toca. Does she play it? Ella lo toca. Okay, read it out loud. Very good, very good. Last question. Does he know it? And it is referring to the answer, which is feminine in Spanish. La respuesta. Does she, or I mean, does he know it? Opening question mark, he, él, it, it's feminine. So that means la, that's right. Ella, and the verb to know is saber, saber. Conjugated with él would be sabe. Él la sabe. Él la sabe. Are you sure? Él la sabe. Does he know it? Okay, come on, go ahead. Say it. Excellent. Excellent. And that's it for the lesson, but not so fast because here it's time for our quiz. With this quiz, we're gonna find out if you really learned what I have just explained to you. So the first exercise for this quiz is your friends remember it. You know, your friends remember how we did it. Why can't you remember what is going on? Your friends remember it. Okay, you've got 10 seconds to do it, and they start now. By the way, in case you don't know, the verb remember is recordar. Recordar, and it's regular. Tres, dos, uno, time out. Okay, guys and girls, how did it go? Your is tus. Why tus and not tu? Because of friends, right? Friends is plural and it's amigos, so that's why tu switches to tus. Tus amigos, and it is referring to an idea, so that would be lo. Tus amigos lo recuerdan. That's right. Tus amigos lo recuerdan. Okay, very good. Now, a negative statement. Again, you've got 10 seconds. And by the way, again, to ask is in Spanish pedir. Pedir, and this is an irregular verb. Tres, dos, uno, cero. Okay, guys. His is su. Very good. Song is hijo. Hijo. Never. Pretty easy. Nunca. Nunca. It referring to money, so lo. Su hijo nunca lo. Ask for is the verb pedir, and that would be conjugated as pide. Su hijo nunca lo pide. And this is very important. In English, you need to say ask for something, ask for money, ask for an idea, etc. But in Spanish, we don't need to say for. We just go with pedir, pide. Su hijo nunca lo pide. Okay. And now the last exercise, the last, and this is a question. You still play it? You already know how to say play because we have just seen this verb a minute ago. Okay, let's do this. 10 seconds. Tres, dos, uno. Time up. Okay, we start with a opening question mark. You, two, still. That's a word that we've been seeing in the last two lessons. So I'm sure you remember it. Is todavía, todavía, and it is referring to la guitarra, the guitar. So that would be la. That's right. And to play is tocar. That's right. ¿Tú todavía la tocas? Yeah, I remember when you were younger, you used to play the guitar, but are you still playing it? Do you still play it? ¿Tú todavía la tocas? And that's it for another lesson, guys and girls. I hope you really enjoyed this. And as always, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll be more than glad to help you. And see you on a next lesson. Bye bye.